Words of wisdom for our sons and daughters who have estranged from us because we are not perfect, and God forbid. So, this is advice for those who walked away from their parents because their parents weren't perfect. I'm going to let you know that a lot of us raised you and we were single parents. Maybe we didn't have means and maybe we did. Whatever the case was. But we made the unfortunate decision to share probably a little bit TMI with you, too much information. Maybe your mom or dad smoked when they were a kid, or skipped out of school, or dropped out altogether, or work didn't work, got in trouble with the law. Maybe they tried certain drugs that are completely illegal and will put you in prison. Maybe they had a life of crime, or they weren't necessarily kind to someone. Maybe your mom had an abortion or dumped her high school boyfriend, whatever the case is. I know, me personally, I overshared with my daughters. Why? Because I got divorced when they were about 9 and 10, and then they moved up to, I kind of probably brought them in as friends rather than just allowing the kid to be a kid, a Toys R Us kid per se. And so they knew everything about me. I shared with them because I wanted them to know that no matter what they had been through, they didn't have to be ashamed, and they could come to me because I'd been there, I'd done that, and I know kind of how to get out of the snafu. Now, granted, I was a pretty good kid, and my parents divorced when I was, 12 years old, so I disconnected and got into a little bit of trouble, and I was grounded. I lost my virginity when I was almost 16, I'll say 15, whatever the case is, and for the most part, I never got arrested. Got a couple of speeding tickets, but whatever. So I overshared, and I thought, well, I would hope that my daughters would be the first person that they would come to if they ever got into any kind of trouble. And so I thought, just so they didn't have to go through what I went through, because I thought, according to my mom, she was perfect and had never, committed any acts of sin against Jesus Christ, and that was just the way it was. So there was a disconnect there. How could I go to someone and tell them, knowing that they were, quote unquote, perfect? And so we overshared, and it came back to bite us in the butt tenfold, and now you're gone. And that's just the way it is. So to all of you sons and daughters who walked away from your parents because we are imperfect people, life lesson: don't share with your children. Don't tell them anything about what you've done wrong. I want you to allow them the opportunity to keep you high on that pedestal, and to believe that you are perfect beyond a shadow of a doubt. That if you were to stand trial, that they would not find anything wrong with you, and they would have to, you could sue for defamation of character. So what do us parents do? We have raised them, they're gone, we overshared, this and that. There's nothing you can do about what you have done, but there's something you can do about what you will do. And that's, from now on, you're going to create a new life for yourself. You're going to accept your flaws. You're not going to allow anyone else the opportunity to come back and make you feel guilty. That's just the way it is. You're going to put that to rest. You're going to move on. You're going to create new memories. You're a new person. What you did when you were 5, 10, 15 years old, I can guarantee you're probably not doing it today. Because why? Because we're tired. Well, we don't have the energy to do that kind of stuff. I don't do drugs, and I really don't drink. I really don't. I had a White Claw a couple of months ago, and it took me out. I was down for the count. Slept good, but other than that, doesn't really do anything for me. So, anyways, younger parents, don't share with your babies. It doesn't matter. They'll just use it against you in a court of law. Older parents, we get to do over. Think about it. We're free and clear. Raising kids, we can move on and just take a break, take a nap, sleep in, create new memories. Out with the old, in with the new. That's all I say. it's the best best advice I can give you. So, anyways, that's all I've got. Nothing you can do to change it. Just move forward. Let it go and move on. That's all I've got, and I will be back.